All right. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back. I'm here with a friend of the show, Alison Leiby.
Hello.
And we're talking about today's episode is all about Facebook. Are they good? Are they bad? Are they neutral?
I mean, do you want an opinion already with zero discussion?
Well, here's where I thought we would start.
Also, I thought that this podcast was about, like, the mob.
Well, it's about organized crime.
Okay.
We're close to 100 episodes.
Yeah, you got to start
branching
broadening the
out a little
definition of... I mean, also, like, I believe that, like, tech corporations and lots of things qualify as organized crime. They just happen to be, like, considered a tax-paying company, even though, like, Facebook pays no taxes.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to find, like, angles with the mafia, because I did that recently. I went on YouTube, and I was just looking at, like... And now, like, one thing they'll do is they'll have, like, these, like, business conferences, like leadership conferences. And they'll be like, hello, yes, we're here with Michael Franzese of the Colombo family. In your line of work.
Line of work?
And they'll, like,
so funny.
ask him about, leadership.
Just
and
imagining them
business.
all having, like, identification credentials at these, like, things. Because it's, like, obviously it's going to be, in a ballroom somewhere at a Hilton. And they're just like, well, we're all here.
Yeah,
Everybody have your name tag. Identify yourself.
He's like, sorry, I'm off the grid. No, it's all right. That's talent.
Yeah. It's all just, like, nicknames and first names.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
This is Frankie the Wop. And he's going to talk to us about profit margin.
That's really funny. Anyway, Facebook.
Yeah,
I'm
so I
into
thought
talking about this.
a good starting point of the show was that we could take a look into the CEO.
CEO?
I'm sorry, COO. Zuckerberg's a CEO. Yeah,
Right.
I knew that.
Right. Right?
Sandberg,
Actually, now I'm second. I don't know what all their titles are, but we could talk about
but
Cheryl.
I think she is
Is she CFO?
She's
No.
not CFO. She's either CEO or COO.
All right. Well, the nightmare that is Sheryl Sandberg. I'm, like, ready to talk about her.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. We will start off by saying that she is very hot.
She is hot.
Yeah.
She looks great.
Yeah.
You know who looks great? Rich people.
Rich people. Yeah.
They're always going to look good. You're never going to
That's
see.
true.
I mean, I'm sorry. Rich women.
Mm-hmm.
Rich men can look like garbage, and it's still.
Yeah, but people
Zuckerberg and Cheryl both have a lot of money, and he looks like a ghost.
Zuckerberg's
teen.
what, like 40? He looks like a boy.
I think he's my age.
Yeah.
35, 36.
Okay. Nice.
Maybe he's a little older. But I was at Cornell when he started Facebook at Harvard.
Oh, okay.
Around the same time.
Did you hear that, everybody?
Yeah, did you guys get that? Did I drop that?
Somebody went to Cornell. Somebody. We have a mutual friend who went to Harvard.
Yeah.
And she gave me a Harvard T-shirt. So I used to wear it all the time.
That's fun.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about her because she wrote a book. She wrote a book called Lean In.
Yes.
And what's it about?
I mean, it's a business book disguised as a feminist book.
Mm-hmm.
I think Alyssa and I read it and wrote a parody of it, which we can get to. But, like, Lean In, from what I remember, was just kind of like telling rich white women how to be more like rich white men in a very specific part of corporate America, and pretty much blaming them, like that article that we both read. But kind of being like, oh, women don't try hard enough. Women are not leaning in. They're not sitting at the table. They're not putting themselves in in places where they can access the next rung of leadership. And it's like, but it takes zero account for any kind of industry. Like, it's only specifically like Fortune 500, probably mostly tech.
It's very Uncle Tommy.
She's an Aunt Tom.
She's an Aunt Tom.
Is that I guess we got to find a better. Well,
What?
that feels. I don't know. It all feels wrong.
Yeah. Well, I think criticism of the book has been like, yeah, she's more telling people how to navigate within the system, and there's no thought to the structure.
Right. There's no account for and it was pre-Me Too, obviously. So she just like never addresses like not even just like harassment, but just
You
like
think
how
there'd be a chapter in that, like, here's what to do, girls.
they're like wear something like a bulletproof vest so nobody can see your body. Yeah, she never accounts for like the reality of a workplace.
What if she's like, wear a burqa to work? That would be kind of funny.
That would be funny.
If that was her advice.
But she like does not acknowledge non-white people.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Have you ever considered wearing a burqa? You're a woman. You're
Me?
smart. Yeah, you're a smart person.
Yeah, no.
Have you ever been like, I'm gonna?
It's not a religious practice that I subscribe to, so I feel, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no, I do know. No, I have not worn a burqa.
But you never thought about it.
I've never thought. I mean, I think that every woman has
Because every guy's thought about converting to Islam.
Why?
No, I don't know. Well, I mean, you did like.
I will say, like,
things about
fully
it.
separate from all of the night, like, you know, however you think and feel about the practice of wearing a burqa. Like, there is, like, sometimes you're just like, God, it'd be nice to just, like, not ever have anyone be able to, like, acknowledge my body or to not have to think about, like, what I wear and spend, like, I don't know. I know that that's not what that's for, and that's not. I'm not trying to trivialize why people do and do not wear burqas.
I think that is what that's for, though.
I mean, I think it's a lot of what it's for, but it's not for the woman. It's for the men, right?
It's so
that men aren't as. Right?
It's so we can all get our work done
without distracting women's bodies.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Cheryl wrote that book, and it's very. Like, yes, if you're like a woman who is in a management position at a Fortune 500 company, there's some good advice in there. But like, that's not like, it's not a feminist tome for America's women to kind of look at.
Was it pretty popular when it came out?
It was really popular. I think it did really well. She made a lot of money from it.
Yeah.
So,
sure.
Which is hard to do with books.
Yeah. I read that her net worth right now is like $1.7 billion.
That's too much.
Yeah.
So.
But her husband is dead.
He is.
I wonder if she's dating now.
I am curious.
I wonder if she's happy.
I wonder what it's like to date as Sheryl Sandberg. Like, I'm sure men are very not interested in, like, a woman who wrote a feminist business book and is worth over $1 billion and works for a deeply nefarious organization.
Who do you think gets more Bumble matches, her or Monica Lewinsky?
Monica.
Yeah.
Monica seems fun and cool.
Yeah.
Like, she's awesome. Yeah. I love Monica.
Yeah.
I'm sure Cheryl's on the Facebook dating, right? She's got to be.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Don't they have that dating page now or something like that? I feel like I read an article that it was like coming or exists already.
I heard another thing. They're trying to start their own currency.
Don't they really have? I mean, likes are a currency, but
yeah,
I see what you mean.
Yeah. No, but they're starting to start They're trying to start like a cryptocurrency.
Like a Bitcoin-y.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Called Libra.
Libra?
Yeah.
Ugh.
But that's the thing. It's like you get to a point where it's like, how much power do you really need?
Right. There's no need. I don't see any of the new social benefits of Facebook existing and anything else that it could expand to. Like, I think that there was a time where it like looked, you know, like first it was colleges and then it expanded to all people, you know, to everybody and not just college students. And I was like, well, that makes, you know, I guess that makes sense if you want, like, whatever. And like, then like you start having like the marketplace and you're like, I guess I could see if we're all already on this platform, why not bring, like, it is a lot easier to sell something on Facebook because everybody's already on it or whatever. But like now I'm like, do we need currency? Like, I mean, and I don't even think those things are good. I don't think Facebook is good, like flat out, but that's my opinion.
Nice. Do you mind putting your phone on airplane mode?
Oh, sorry.
Just because sometimes the frequency. Yeah. Thank you. I'm going to make a note of that.
All right.
8 minutes in. Yeah, but I was on the way over here and I was watching a video on the Cambridge Analytica thing.
Oh yeah.
And
a video, or have you watched that documentary on Netflix?
No.
I'm only like partway through it and it's just kind of boring, but I'm interested in what they're talking about.
Yeah.
But the documentary itself is very boring.
That's the crazy thing too. It's like they're like this is one of the biggest scandals Facebook has ever
and no one can articulate it, and like no one can make it as sexy as it probably actually is.
Yeah.
Because it is
very sexy.
It's a very sexy scandal.
Yeah. But part of me feels like there must be some conversation like on the inside of Facebook where they're like, wow, this is like really bad, like we really fucked up, and then someone goes, yeah, but people don't even understand what this is.
Yeah. I feel like it's the same thing that happens inside the big banks and the private equity, like when a financial crash happens or when like there's a bad Dow, like people don't really know what's going on. So people are mad, but like they don't know why.
Yeah.
I mean, the financial crashes, there's like more of a direct like, oh, I had money and now I don't have money. But like no one understands who they're supposed to be mad at and like what mechanisms made that happen and who's responsible.
Right.
But Facebook, I feel like I guess we just haven't seen the consequences of it directly impact most people's lives yet.
Mm-hmm.
But that's coming,
Yeah.
right?
Well, let's try to break this down exactly what they did. They had our data.
Right.
But my thing is, like, how much of my data is really stored on these platforms? Like, they're going to know that, like, what, that I like pizza?
Yeah, that's the thing is, like, I don't know what, like, there's such a line between, like, data that means something to me and data that doesn't. I've had my identity stolen, so, like, my social security number and all of that shit and anything, any identifying, like, dates, names, like, that's, like, I'm like, that stuff's important, but, like, you know, if there's just some number associated with me that's not a social security number, it's just some kind of, like, digital Facebook identification or whatever, and my name or
Wouldn't
whatever.
that be funny if someone stole your identity and then they, like, dressed up like you and went to your job?
What a nightmare.
Like,
That's
on
your
a wig.
I know. I feel like a lot of people had that similar joke there where it's like, if you steal my identity, you have to take all of it with you. You incur my student debt and, like, my phone calls from my mother, and you have to go to work, and which is funny. But, like, is it just, like, the fact that I like Seinfeld and have spent money at West Elm? Like, I'm like, I don't know. Does that really ever negatively impact me? I mean, maybe it does. And, like, it's a slippery slope to, like, the information that can become then, you know, increment. You know, if they're like, well, she like Seinfeld, she's probably Jewish. We are in a neo-Nazi time. You know, then it could start, you know, getting scary again.
Right. Because, like, once they have it, what do they really do with it besides try to sell you more stuff?
Right. And it's like, I don't know. Sometimes it's, like, kind of useful.
Right.
I don't always hate when, like, I get a targeted ad and I'm like, oh, I kind of did want to buy that candle.
I mean, I get a ton of targeted ads for, like, grill accessories, meat thermometers,
of course I
outdoor stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. You're a man.
I know. Yeah, I don't want ads for, you know,
tampons.
Tampons. Thank you.
The only product that women buy.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to know, like, what data is dangerous and what data, like, kind of doesn't matter. And I think that that's why we don't know what they have. But to me, I'm like, as long as it's not my social.
Yeah.
There's someone else out there has my social, so, you know.
It's just, how do they not? It's always
right.
It's
everywhere. I always am getting emails. It's like, your social was on the dark web again. And I'm like, yeah, it's probably all fucking over the dark web. It's just a matter of if somebody uses it or not.
Right. And then what would they use it for when they?
To, like, open up lines of credit in your name with different addresses and phone numbers so that you are incurring all of the interest of not paying it, but not ever knowing that it's open in your name. And then your credit score goes down hundreds of points and it ruins your life.
Okay.
That's what happened to me.
Man, that's what happened to you?
Yeah.
Jeez.
And then they drain all your bank accounts and you don't have a bank account for 7 days because that's at, like, when there's an investigation, they have to, like, shut everything down and you can't have, like, a card or anything. That was tough. That was a tough year, but.
Are you just walking around with a giant, like, wad of cash? With
It feels safer to walk around with all of the cash I have on hand. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's what I'm doing. If anybody sees me on the street, nice. I shouldn't even joke about that. That feels like an insane opportunity for somebody to be like, let's get her.
Oh, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about, like, so let's talk about 2016, because I think, like, you forget how big these companies are.
Yeah.
There's what, like 2.3 billion people on Facebook. So
many.
So it's like, so whatever gets shared, like, you can literally.
Right.
It's hard to fathom the size of. That's a common theme of this show, that things are very big.
Things are very big.
Yeah.
The show goes deep.
The business is very big.
Yes.
Like a big part is like understanding, like,
how far it
reaches. How far it reaches. Because, like, I was talking to my grandmother recently about climate change.
How did it come up?
We were just talking. I was like, she was just yelling about politics, and I was like, there's got to be something that I.
Is
can,
your
like,
grandmother liberal or conservative?
She's conservative. Mm-hmm. She's just like decades of just her brain being broken.
Of course.
By But every once in a while, there's something that we can, like, we find some common ground.
Yeah, there's usually, like, some topic where you're like, everyone thinks this is bad, like, or most people think this is bad or whatever.
I told her Amazon doesn't pay any federal taxes, and she was like, well, that's not right if they do. But I would have to look that up because there's a lot of it.
Right. Why don't you give her their books and she can look at.
Yeah. All right. Do an Amazon search to see if they. But so we were talking about climate change, and and I brought it up, and she was like, "Listen, people need to dispose of their garbage properly." She was like, "You can't. You have to separate your trash. You have to separate your bottles and cans." Because she thinks that like that's the extent of
recycling is our that's our only responsibility.
Yeah. Like to her that could actually make a difference. That makes like a small difference when it's not
It's better than her being like fuck it, burn it. Mm-hmm. It's nice that she at least wants people to be recycling.
Yeah.
Does she believe that climate change? I mean, how old is she?
93.
Yeah, it doesn't affect her.
Yeah.
she'll be
all right.
She'll be gone. She'll be dead.
I should just tell her that it's not happening.
Yeah, I honestly let her live her final years in peace of not thinking that being like Mike and I agree climate change it's not a problem.
Right.
It's like a dying gift to give an old person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just like, you know what? He was a Muslim the whole time.
You just agree with all of their insane backwards views.
Oh my God, I'm reading this article on Breitbart, and yeah, he was a fucking terrorist, and his wife's a man. Can you believe it?
All of the like terrible, awful conspiracy theories and like wrong.
I knew it.
Pizzagate was real.
Yeah, Mimi Hillary was fucking kids in a basement at a pizza shop.
It's good that man brought that gun there.
See, what did I tell you?
You're right. Good night.
Yeah, right before she passes away.
Yeah.
But so like, 2.6 billion people. It's also funny when you think about how Facebook started, right? It was just Zuckerberg rating women.
Yeah,
and
just like angry that he wasn't getting dates.
Mm-hmm.
Rating women in his class, and now it's
which we've all done it, but
but then like he turned it into like a terrible organization that like touches every single person on the earth.
It's just funny how this it does seem like a lot of times when you look at history and you look at the world, it is a very like random sequence of events that determines like who has the power.
Right.
Like it was just some guy who was like, let's rate the girls.
Right.
And
now that guy runs all of our lives.
One of the most powerful people. Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah.
It's so scary how random it all. I mean, it's not random. It's just like
because it's not
it's not like it would have ever happened. Like it's not a woman doing the alternative to men. I don't think would have ever somehow come all the way around to this.
Oh, women rating guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have like caught on. Men would have been like, "Oh, cool," and like it just wouldn't have been like a thing.
Yeah. Well, guys are just more like easygoing.
Yeah, I know. Women are just like so high strung and emotional all the time.
We don't really care if you're talking about our dicks. You could actually learn a lot from men.
Oh yeah.
I think.
I'll take a page from men.
Yeah. But what the hell was I going to say?
2.6 billion people are on Facebook.
No, but it's just like whoever. Yeah, it's not like Zuckerberg is particularly intelligent, or
he's not any smarter than probably any of his classmates, like any of the guys who was like. It's just
he just made a thing on the computer.
Right. It's all about like right time, right place, right thing.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's just crazy.
Who are the people that were like consolidating a ton of power like 100 years ago? Though was that like a random? Like I wonder when you look at history, like
yeah, I don't know. Like I mean, like what would be considered like the powerful people of 100 years ago?
If you're like George Washington's kid or something.
George Washington's kid was definitely not alive 100 years ago.
No, I know, but I'm just.
Well, I feel like Henry Ford. Like I feel like the beginning of the automobile industry was like kind of extremely powerful and became like for decades like one of the most powerful industries.
Yeah. In
this country at least, and then in Japan and Europe and.
Yeah, and where did he? And then like Walt Disney. I guess that's a big. Yeah.
I think like
he's just. Drawing
ahead. Yeah. What? Now he's just ahead. He's just ahead in a bottle or something.
Well, it's just funny to think that like so you've Mark Zuckerberg who's like rating women. You've Walt Disney who's like drawing racist cartoons.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if they were.
I think the people the Walton family who owns Walmart, I think falls under this umbrella, and they're just like.
What happened with them though? Like, how did they?
They were just like
weren't
they just a store, and then they just kept expanding, and they were all about just like low prices, and then it just kind of.
Yeah.
Because they were like the predecessor to like Amazon, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in that they're a company that sold everything for less money than everybody else was.
Yeah, which is pretty smart.
I mean, it is a good business strategy in a capitalist society.
Yeah. How do they get the prices so low?
Nothing good.
Yeah.
It's never good. You're never like, oh, good.
Right.
People weren't getting paid, or like everything's made of flour or whatever the nightmare is.
Yeah.
They're not selling,
Uh-huh.
I don't think that it's...
Yeah, someone's always getting exploited at some point.
Right, somewhere along the way. Sometimes it's the consumer buying stuff that's garbage. They're like, it's cheaper, and it's like, well, maybe there's a reason. Like, maybe it's not as good.
You know what? That's a good point, because I feel like my mom would like go shopping and she would come home she would buy like shit that she didn't even need. She would buy like
at Walmart or just in general.
Just in general,
Yeah.
but she does go to Walmart a lot, and they just come home with stuff and they're like, well, it was cheaper, so it's like people just buy more shit.
Yeah, I feel like it's very, I'm somebody who shops a lot, and I feel like I've like learned as I've gotten older to like, but there's so many times I would just buy, I'm like, well, this is cheaper than I would find it somewhere else, even though I don't need it. I should just get it in case I need it one day, and I can only get it for that higher price.
Right.
That's like, to me, money saving. And I'm like, but you didn't need to spend that money at all. You could have been at zero.
Yeah. It's like when you go to the store and like olive oil's on sale.
Right.
You're like, I better get, 17.
Grocery shopping is still the
this.
place where I just hemorrhage money. Everywhere else I've kind of settled into like, these are the things I buy and like I plan, but like grocery shopping, like I'll just drop $100 every time I go to a grocery store.
But it's an investment and not that. I mean, that's what you think.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I'm eating healthy. And like, I'm not going to eat out. And then I eat out anyway. And then I'm throwing, it's a bad cycle to be in.
Mm-hmm.
I think living alone is part of that.
But it's great, right?
But it's amazing.
Yeah. Maybe someday.
No. No.
Maybe if Deb chokes on a...
Oh, you mean for you?
What?
I mean, I thought you meant like maybe someday I'll live with somebody. I was like, no. Like I'm staying put. But you mean maybe someday you'll be alone. Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't ever think you'll find anybody?
No, never. No,
Yeah.
No. I don't.
You're going to be like one of those weird ladies with birds all over.
I hate birds, and
Okay.
they're so scary.
Yeah.
No, I like living alone. It's fun. It's quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that like tricking, I mean, Amazon does the same thing. Like it's like that tricking you into thinking you need things that you don't, which is just like in general capitalism.
Yeah.
But
which fucking sucks, bro.
It does.
Capitalism.
Socialism all the way.
Yeah. But let's talk about 2016 a little bit, because there's a lot of reports of like, I want to talk about like how they said that a lot of, now the policy of Facebook right now is that you can like lie, you can take out a political ad and you're allowed, you can just make stuff up.
Right.
They won't flag it. They won't take it down.
What is their defense for not taking down things that are obvious lies? Or are they saying like, we can't determine what's truth and what's not, so the basis of truth is not a way that we're going to decide what goes on the site?
It looks like it. I don't know.
It could be either of those things. I don't know.
But then you hear this all the time when people talk about like tech censorship, and people go like, oh, there's a bias towards like certain people.
Right.
But I feel like no one ever brings up that like some people are just outright lying.
Right.
And so why can't that be regulated? And like I want to like, when Dennis Prager like complains about his videos being censored, I want to be like, you're a fucking liar.
Yeah. Like,
but nobody has
no one
thought
cared
to do that.
Yeah, I guess not.
Yeah.
I know we're talking about 2016, but I do want to at some point, either now or after.
You want to talk about Sheryl Sandberg's fat ass?
Yep. How'd you know? I want to talk about how Facebook is like a playground for pyramid schemes. And like multi-level marketing, which is just the legal way of saying pyramid scheme. And how it like has proliferated them in a way that like they haven't really existed since the 70s.
Before we go on, have you ever been involved in a pyramid scheme?
No, but definitely girls from my high school are.
Yeah.
And it's dark.
They are, right? Yeah.
It's
really?
dark. It's like the darkest thing I've ever seen. Like getting a message from someone you haven't spoken to in 15 years. That's like, girl, what is up? I have a side hustle for you. And I'm like, what? It is really upsetting. And like, they're just constantly like kind of like constantly posting about how great things are going and how like this is, and I'm like, if things were going great, like you wouldn't be on Facebook like promote, you would just be kind of selling your business. And sorry, this is a busy street, it gets
That's
loud.
all right. People actually like it. It's
cool.
It's a very New York podcast.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Good. Local. Anyway, so the pyramid schemes and Facebook, I do want to, because like those are also like outright lies and like ways to deceive people, and Facebook has like made that a thing again.
Mm-hmm. There was when I was in college, I worked for this company where we did like door-to-door marketing. It was a home improvement company, and there was I like knocked on this guy's door one time, and he was like, "Oh, cool, yeah, it's cool that you're doing this. I actually have an opportunity as well. And, if you want to maybe get involved, we could trade information."
Were you like selling knives, and he's like, "I have other knives."
Yeah, we like sold each other knives.
Everyone breaks even.
Yeah.
You're like, this is a good day. I sold some knives, but I also got some knives.
Okay, and I broke even today. But these knives are nicer than mine. I really took that guy for a ride.
He bought some real shitty
Fucking
knives.
Sucker. Yeah.
But I spent more on these nicer knives.
I got the good knives. Yeah, no, he because what we would do. What we would do is we would like sign people up for free estimates for their windows or siding.
Okay.
And then like a sales.
So you were getting their information basically, and then the company would.
We were generating leads for sales guys who would come out and lie to people and say, "I want you to be my model home.
Right.
We're going to give you a big discount if you sign up today."
Nice.
Which I didn't know. I didn't know the sales guys.
No, you can't. I mean, hard to know.
Yeah.
When you're young.
One of the guys got mad at me one time because like I knocked on this guy's door, and this guy was like This guy was either a cop or a corrections officer. He was this Indian guy, but he talked like me, kind of.
Okay.
And he's like, "Yeah, how you doing? Listen, I was wondering, do you have bulletproof glass? 'Cause, I'm a corrections officer, and I need bulletproof glass right here." And I'm like, "Yeah, we did," because you just lie.
Yeah, of course. We do everything.
Yeah. And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "All right, so how much to put bulletproof glass in this window right here?" And I'm like, I don't know. I can't tell you anything about pricing.
Yeah.
Like I just the guy will come out and let you know, and he's like, "All right, but if you had to give me an estimate, what would you say?" It's like 2,000. I'm like, "Yeah, probably like 2,000."
Yeah, just say yes.
Yeah. And the next day I showed up at the office, and like one of the sales guys was like, "Did you tell a guy that we sold windows for $2,000?" He's like, "That's a fucking $6,000 window." And I'm like, "Sorry." He's like, "And you told him we have bulletproof glass?" I was like, "What the fuck's the matter with you? You just wasted all my time." So
saying,
I'm sorry.
"Yes, we have bulletproof glass," and have it be a third of the price of regular glass.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah, you just say anything.
Yeah,
like,
you're just trying to get it from,
get people in. I'm kind of impressed that I did that. I'm like just some dumb 19-year-old knocking on doors.
It's impressive. Have you done other cold call sales stuff?
No.
I haven't either.
You haven't?
No.
You've never in your life? Never?
No.
Never done sales. That's
like I worked like in commission
like
only retail,
you, though, right? As like a Jew.
Yeah.
That's
I'll be the middleman in some money, but I'm not gonna sell stuff.
Yeah. You're not gonna get your hands dirty.
No. I'll be the bank.
Yeah. But this guy like he like pretended he was gonna sign up for an estimate. Like I took his number down. He's like, "Okay, and then also let me get your number."
Wait, what was he selling?
It was like it was a fucking pyramid scheme, and he was like,
"Of course."
And he was like, "Yeah, I'd love to like talk about some business opportunities." But he's like, "You seem like a really astute young man."
Did he call you an entrepreneur?
No.
Oh, I feel like that's like a word that they use. They're always like, "You look like a real entrepreneur."
Well, he was like a very like dignified like middle class like guy from West Orange, I think.
Sure.
And he had like a young family.
Yeah.
His name was Anthony.
DeVito?
Yeah, Anthony DeVito. Hey, I got an idea.
Okay, so the idea is
he's like, what am I doing here? This is but so then it was like one of those things where like sometimes like somebody gets your number and then they call a lot and you try not to pick up, but you like, and then he was just like
my student loan company,
like a student loan company, and then he like calls me and he's like, you should like come to my house one time, like one day and we'll talk about this. And I was like, yeah, this is like so obviously a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was like, and then I'm like sitting down at his house with him, and he's like, and then people ask me, is this a pyramid scheme? And I say, no, it's not. This is something else. And I never really got. Yeah. I never saw the guy again. But,
right. Yeah. No. Of course.
But yeah, it's pretty sad when people get.
Yeah, and Facebook made it seem, because like in the past, like a pyramid scheme would require you either going door to door or using like your personal social network, and then other people's, like, so you would have to have people at your house, the parties or whatever. But like Facebook is like, okay, but like if you're a random like suburban mom who has 600 Facebook friends of, you know, all like from across your life, you're like, well, now I can reach this many people and they don't have to come to my house and I don't have to leave my house. And it's like, it makes it seem like a good idea.
What was the one in the 80s? Amway, I think. And now, so that one, like, people sold like soap and toothpaste.
It was like regular like sundry goods.
But you had to like keep it at your house.
Yeah, you had to
How
buy
did you
it.
Move that.
I don't. It's like imagine or I mean, you did have to buy some of it. Like that's the problem with pyramid schemes is like the customer is the salesperson, so it creates this closed loop.
Yeah.
But like. Yeah, it's not like, I mean, the one I know this girl I know does is like a skincare one. And I'm like, okay, so even if you had hundreds of pieces of product, it's 3 boxes that you could keep in the corner of your garage. But like, if you were selling paper towels, the volume you would have to be moving in order for that to be generating any money for you.
Yeah.
You would need to like have like a second home just to put all this like dumb shit in.
Your kid's like, Mommy, why is my room full of paper towels? I want to play with my toys.
I don't want to eat any more soap. We eat soap now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm upset. Yeah. But like Facebook, I feel like one of the like really terrible things that Facebook has done is make those businesses seem like viable options for people when they really aren't, and it just drives them into this terrible debt. And
yeah, I thought we were done with those.
Yeah, no, they came back because of Facebook. So just another check mark to Facebook as net negative.
Net negative. Now, are there any positives?
I will say that like
I used to DM Deborah on Facebook.
I mean, I genuine human connection that exists. That's I reconnected with many people from my life that I'm like glad I'm like, oh, now I can like get that person's email or phone number and like we could have a relationship if we want or not. Yeah. But like the other thing that I do think it's good for is people being able to mark themselves as safe in dangerous circumstances. So like whenever there's an earthquake in LA or a fire or something like that, or shooting, which is more likely, you know, you get a bunch of notifications and you're like, this is annoying because like, of course they are. But like, I don't know. It's got to, like, I feel like that's a good public service that doesn't hurt anything.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like any.
I don't have that many people who like care about me though. It's like
me neither.
Deb and my mom.
Yeah, and also like if you don't really use Facebook that much, like I don't like. Would anyone even see it?
Yeah,
like would anyone give it care? Right. No one's gonna check there for me. But I do think like in the wake of like a massive tragedy, like there is some, you know, benefit to having that technology.
If you're like a younger person.
Yeah.
With
so do young people
with a future.
Right, yeah, where people care if you live or die.
Right.
You have some kind of social value to people and you people mean anything to society. Right. Yeah. People are like, you'll be fine regardless. And if I never see you again, I never see you again.
Yeah.
Anyway, 2016. Sorry. I got us off on pyramid schemes because I could talk about them for hours.
So, but back to pyramid schemes. So what are they like? What are these girls selling?
There's a couple big ones. There's a lot of like skincare and makeup because that's like easy small merchandise too. And like we're in this like giant moment of like self-care and like women like spending more on skincare and makeup than they ever have before as like some kind of act of like self-preservation. But in reality, it's still just participating in capitalism and making yourself beautiful so that people think you're valuable.
Yeah.
But also there's one that's like leggings. And then there's like there's diet. There's a lot of diet ones. There's always diet ones. There's always like shakes.
Yeah.
They're all pretty sad.
Yeah.
They make me upset. Like they make me really upset.
They're like, "What's up, you fat bitch?"
Yeah. They're all for women. They're all for like stay-at-home moms. Like it's not for like they're all like or like
that's
moms.
Guys are too smart to be.
Yeah, guys are definitely too smart to ever fall for something stupid. They never do that.
What do we fall for besides like being a terrorist?
yeah, ISIS, I guess.
That's like the pyramid scheme for men. Just
ISIS is a pyramid scheme for men. That's so real.
Just being a radical Islamic terrorist. My friend, I noticed that you are very sad. You have no friends.
You need a side hustle.
You need a side hustle. Yeah. You must get like free meals or something if you join
in ISIS.
Yeah, right?
I think like a lot of like the details of your life are probably taken care of. Not in a way where you get to choose.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's like, hey, we're getting lunch today. Who wants Roberta's? Like I think it's, we're eating this and then we're going here and you're gonna die soon.
It's a nice fucking couch.
Thanks. It's West Elm.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I mean, we were just shitting on capitalism, but
look. I'm a willing participant. Until there's another option.
Yeah, my couch smells like dog.
Well, you've got dogs.
I know, but I want like a plastic sheet for it.
I could see you having a no, but I fully
imagine just being able to spray your couch and it's clean.
Yeah,
with like
and like
solution.
You can take it off. It's not like you buy a plastic couch. You're just putting a plastic thing over it, so like the smell and hair of a dog isn't constantly in direct contact with fabric.
Mm-hmm.
So you can always like, when the dogs are dead, take it off.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to die before that.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't live without Frankie.
Also, he'll definitely outlive you regardless of what your relationship is.
Yeah, we're either going to die together or I'll die first. Yeah, women's pyramid schemes are like selling makeup, and then guys are just, sawing people's heads, sawing off journalists' heads in the desert.
God. ISIS is a pyramid scheme for men.
No, but this is a great opportunity for you. And you can give your... But, it kind of sucks that people get involved in this stuff because it's like, it is a very capitalistic thing where most people can't just, like, work a job. You can't just work a 40-hour-a-week job.
Right.
And provide for yourself. You have to, like, have everybody... And that is the messaging that we're getting, I feel like, all the time. Like...
Yes.
Like, hustle and...
Yeah, and also like it capitalizes on people wanting to take back their time, and it's like I can do this from home, and I could do it on my schedule, and it's like, well, not really. I mean, you have to do it 24 hours a day if you want it to become like a thing.
Yeah.
But like it does tap into that like I could be a millionaire from my home, and I could make a lot of money living in this area where like there aren't jobs that pay that kind of money. Like a girl I know who's in one, like she lives in rural suburban North Carolina. Like it's not like she's ever gonna go and have like $150,000 a year marketing job salary. Like that's not where somebody in New York could absolutely have that, or other cities. So it's like all of a sudden this promise of kind of this lifestyle that you could never have in a place that you didn't think you could ever have it. And it's like, well, you can't because it's not real.
They're like, Mommy, why are there diet pills in my room? And you're like, shut the
Have
fuck
another
up.
one.
Yeah. Shut up.
Shut up. I'm strung out on diet pills. I have to eat my own supply now. This is the only food in the house.
Yeah. Let's talk about 2016
okay,
a little
let's do
bit
it.
Because what a lot of people have said is that on Facebook there was a ton of misinformation being spread around that cost Hillary the election, and she absolutely would have won because she was the best candidate that we had ever seen in our lifetime. She was an amazing person, just a very honest, authentic, kind-hearted person who didn't smear any rape victims or
definitely didn't cover anything up.
But you do wonder because 2016 feels like a different world.
It was
than where we are now. Yeah.
It was a different world,
yeah.
which is crazy.
Yeah. And I'm just trying to think back to like what it was like, what people were going through. And I remember like a lot of people being like, you guys think that, because I think we can sort of agree that like if you had to do that election over again.
There were a lot of problems in a lot of places.
Yeah. But if you had to go, okay, this option is better, I would say that Hillary Clinton was a better option. 100%. I think it's like safe to say that she's.
I don't think that anybody is like, well, she could have, it could have been the same thing. Same story could have played out. Could have been worse.
Yeah. But I just remember like a ton of people being like, you guys think that Hillary's the lesser of two evils, and you're like so wrong, and she's like done all this corrupt shit, and I'm trying to think of what was some of the misinformation that was like spread. The only thing I really remember is like there was a picture of like I think Trump arm wrestling with Hillary Clinton, and like Jesus was behind him.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
That feels like something that definitely exists on the internet.
Yeah. And then I think there was a story that came out that said the Pope endorsed Trump.
That sounds right. And like the kind of thing that was spreading around. It's also tough because like, I don't know how much you use Facebook. I even think about like how I used to use it versus, I mean, I look at Facebook like maybe once a day. Like I'm not sitting out, like it's there for, honestly, I'm only on it because like
no, I barely
Messenger
use it,
is how some shows still get booked.
Yeah.
And so
yeah.
that's fine. But
I
like,
used to use it all the time. It was like my go-to.
But the only people who really use Facebook are older or less intelligent or less computer literate or less like savvy. Mm-hmm. And so they're like the most susceptible to believing something anyway.
Yeah. But then in their defense, have you been on Twitter lately?
Twitter's like, also a nightmare.
But it's like a foreign language sometimes, like trying to decipher. Like I'll look at people because I did a thing where I just started following a lot of people to sort of build my follower account. But you start looking at like, so I guess a lot of my feed is like leftists.
Yeah.
And I start looking at like conversations and arguments that people are having, and I'm like, I can't even follow. And then I feel like I wasted my time.
I know. There's so much that I just like scroll,
these...
like as soon as I'm just like scrolling through, I'm like, I don't know, I don't care, video of a dog, you know?
Yeah. Thank God for those.
Thank God for those.
Yeah.
That's like all I see in like Instagram or like what, like I've muted so many people and things that are like real in quotation marks.
Thank God every once in a while there's like a fat black kid who puts on his grandmother's clothes
and is a really incredible dancer, and you're just like, this is great, and I'm happy this exists.
Yeah. I'm happy this exists. Yeah.
And then the rest of it is just kind of a sea of horse shit.
Yeah. But so then I guess like, because I do get tired of people talking about Russia. Like I hear the word Russia and like I just want to be like, I don't want anything to do with that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, how much of it really did influence the outcome of the election, or will we never know?
I mean, I think we'll never be able to like quantify, like, oh, this many votes were affected, or like whatever. But I think like areas or areas or populations, you could be like, this was impacted. This was not, like, or I don't fully understand it.
Well, there were only so many votes that determined the election.
Right.
Too. It was a very small number. So, yeah, who knows? But I don't think that, like, I have trouble believing that Russia had this, like, advanced diabolical scheme to, like, interfere in our election. I think they just had people, like, spread misinformation.
Yeah, I think they just saw an opportunity to, like, disrupt a democracy and were like, I don't know, let's see what happens.
Let's fuck around.
Yeah, I think that they're literally like, let's fuck around.
Putin's the Joker.
Right.
He just wants to...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah. So, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm trying...
I'm trying to make my way through the documentary because I do want to understand it.
Yeah.
I do think it's important to understand, but that doc is really tough to get through. Mm-hmm. They're making it seem so interesting, and I'm like, wait, but this isn't like, you're not making this seem interesting. You're doing all the stuff of like, you're shooting it so it's like, a British guy walking down the streets of London and it's raining and you can tell that he's wearing and you're like, yeah, but like you need to give me information about like what I'm supposed to care about. Like, just stop just showing me like, scenes you think are dramatic, and like, could you tell me some?
Wait, so is this like a reenactment that they're?
No,
making,
but it's just like it's like they'll do like 15 seconds of B-roll of a guy before they get to, like, the documentary is like 2.5 hours, and it's like just string together
like
the interviews.
Boomers afraid, kind of like
what?
It's like footage to make boomers like
scared.
And
it's like supposed to like give a mood, and it's like, I'm already terrified. It's about like a giant, like, nefarious organization like using and selling data to affect elections. Like, it's already intense. Like, just string together the interviews and tell the story of what happened.
Yeah. But
show me the stakes.
Right. Yeah, but it doesn't seem like they have any skin in the game, really.
No, they were just like, let's sell something to
just,
Netflix. That's a bottomless money pit.
But it seems like Facebook is like, yeah, whoever wants to advertise, there's no oversight, there's no regulation of like what goes on there, which
yeah,
I can understand. You're just like, yeah, this is for
this
like
is the Wild
dog
West.
videos,
Yeah.
But then it becomes bigger. But now there's like genocides happening.
Yeah.
Those
and that misinformation being spread has like very real world consequences.
Mm-hmm. But from my understanding, it feels like they know about it and they have known about it. And
I think
they're
so
just choosing not to do anything about it.
Yeah, I think that they are looking at it a little bit like, how could we even do anything about this?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's such a big problem.
Yeah, because that world is very unregulated. And
Yeah.
There's just
I don't know what separates
nothing.
Facebook from the dark web. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
how many steps away is regular internet from the dark web?
Yeah. Well, the best was when
Not many, right?
The dark. What is the dark web?
I don't really. I mean, I know it's where people like trade social security numbers and sell illegal guns and babies and plasma and whatever. You know what? It's like it's
Wait,
where
hand me your computer. Let's just Google
the dark web.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be on my computer.
All right. We can do it on my phone.
Okay. This is good airtime. Just typing.
Hold on, well, let me look it up.
But I mean, the dark web is where a lot of like, any kind of business you want to conduct, like that's where a lot of like, child pornography stuff I think exists.
Oh,
so
you hear that, guys?
I know you're probably intrigued.
I'm here with child pornography expert Alison Leiby, who knows where all the child pornography is.
Just type it now.
And what you just type in the dark web.
I'm typing what is the dark web.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it is like all I believe.
Matt would always get mad at me because I would tell a story about accidentally watching child pornography.
Sure. It's a part of the internet that isn't visible to search engines.
Do you not want me to finish that story? That's okay. It's not visible to search engines.
No, finish your story.
We'll edit it out.
You accidentally watched.
No, I've told this story a million times.
I don't want to bore the listeners with another story of you accidentally watching child porn.
Right. They've all heard it.
The dark web is a part of the internet that isn't visible to search engines and requires the use of anonymous making. I can't pronounce that word. Browsers called Tor to be accessed. So it's all, I think, like encrypted. That feels like a word that is part of this.
Yeah.
But you can't like search for things. You have to like become anonymous through some kind of platform, and then you have access to pages that would not show up if you looked for them.
Okay. Yeah, just the last thing I want to get to also is like, I think this started, there was a campaign that started in like 2014 or 2015 where the government of Myanmar was like making fake profiles, and they were like,
yes,
there was a very active propaganda campaign against the Rohingya Muslims.
Yes.
Which I don't know much about that.
I don't either, so I won't be able to
but
add anything to this.
But it does seem like, first of all, I don't know where genocide, like why. I don't know why people do that. Maybe there is an irrational explanation for it.
Yeah, I don't. I mean,
sometimes it's like they live in the rainforest and you're trying to like burn
down the rainforest so you can build a stadium.
You got to get them out of there.
Right.
That I kind of understand.
Well, of course.
I don't know. I guess sometimes you need the land, maybe. Yeah. That's probably where it comes from, right?
But
genocide?
That's not what the Holocaust was, and that's a genocide.
No, but maybe you need the gold.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
You need all.
It's someone I killed.
What?
I said Jesus Christ. I said it's someone we killed.
No, but you know what I mean. Like someone's got all the gold, so you make up lies.
Yes, I do. That seems very specific to Jews, but I think a lot of the megalomania, genocidal
Someone's got all the comedy writing jobs.
Somebody has all the comedy writing jobs, and you want to kill them.
You want them? Yeah.
Yeah, and you want them. So you kill an entire type of person called a straight white dude.
Yeah.
So that one's next.
But it seems like with genocide, that's where it starts. It starts with. It has to start with
Misinformation.
Misinformation and propaganda.
Absolutely.
And see, we came to an intelligent conclusion.
We
today.
did.
We're not just two fucking idiots.
We might be one.
All right. What do you mean? You saying I'm an idiot?
I am.
Oh, okay.
No, that's. I agree.
Allison went to Cornell. Everybody, isn't that so impressive?
It is.
But
yeah, but that. Did that exist on Facebook? Was that propaganda on Facebook?
Yeah. So what happened was people were like, there were like the army, the Myanmar army. So I think what happened was they had a military dictatorship till like 2011.
Yeah.
And then they transitioned from like a more democratic form of government, but they made like fake profiles
so they could spread.
Yeah. Of like entertainers, I think.
Yeah. And also like, I mean, Facebook functions on an algorithm where obviously the more engagement a post or piece of content has, the more likely other people are to see it.
Right.
So then therefore, like, even if you make
so
a bunch of...
when you say stuff like the Jews have all the gold,
right.
people are going to share that.
Right.
Because it makes sense.
But if you have a bunch of phantom profiles liking something that are fake... and it has suddenly something has 500,000 likes.
Yeah,
that's getting pushed to a top news story. That's all you have to do.
You know what I'm annoyed about though? I made a Facebook profile for a fake one for my dad. I made Bob Recine, and I just started like posting and fucking around as Bob Recine, and they like disabled that one.
Right.
So I was like annoyed about that.
Yeah,
because it's like.
That's like exactly the thing that
causing ethnic cleansing, and you missed that, but you got me just trying to have a good time.
Right.
You know,
I'm just trying to make fun of my dad and like fuck around with my friends, but you guys are just gonna let whatever's happening in Asia just happen.
They're
tough.
like, we got him.
Yeah,
I think somebody at Facebook did say like we did lose sleep over that.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
They're all still like making hundreds of thousands of dollars at their jobs.
Yeah.
So.
Although sometimes it is hard for me to care about. I'm just saying I do now. But sometimes it's hard for me to give a shit about other countries. Because they like speak funny. Their language is all squiggly lines. You know what I mean? Like, what do you want me to do? It's so far away. They're like, do
not.
It's like it just no, but it sounds like a language that like you can't. It doesn't even sound like anything you've heard.
What
before.
we speak?
Yeah.
Ours sounds that way to them.
To them, right?
They're like, who gives a shit what happens in America? Which is a valid perspective to have.
Because it sounds funny to them.
Right.
So comedy is very subjective.
Extremely.
Because we're just talking and no one, if someone from Myanmar was going to hear this podcast, they'd be like, oh, this sounds so funny.
This is hilarious. These two just sound
so
like they're rambling about nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not, but.
Well, we made some good.
We're landing on some illuminating points.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, if you ever read anything that's, I don't know what language they speak over there, but it looks like.
In Myanmar?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I mean, look, I'll draw it for you.
No, don't draw it. Don't draw it.
Okay.
I don't have pens out, probably for that reason.
Yeah. Oh, because I was going to.
So that you don't draw something anything.
Yeah. But somebody sent me an SNL sketch today that was like, it was The Office. It was when Steve Carell hosted.
And it was
a few years ago.
In Japan or Asia.
It's just The Office, and they're speaking Japanese.
Yeah.
It's just, and the only joke is that it's not
in English.
It's a different language.
Right.
Which like that was what I laughed at when I was like maybe 10 years old, and my grandparents had the Spanish channel, and I would turn on the Spanish channel.
And it's just funny that it's not what I know.
It's not my language.
Right.
Yeah. I would like laugh my ass off.
Right. Being like, that's different, so it's funny.
Yeah. They're like, Sorobetos cantante Burger King. And you're like, holy shit. I've never laughed so hard. I'm not like that anymore.
No, then you grow up and you're like, oh, right, of course. Different
everybody
people
just
exist.
has their different, yeah.
Do you think that Facebook is overall a net positive or a net negative or a net neutral?
It seems like it's net negative.
I think it is too.
It's got to be net negative. Instagram is net
positive.
Yeah, because on Instagram you learn how to make money.
Yeah.
You learn how to hustle.
Yep.
You learn.
There's so many good animals.
There's animals. You learn about your horoscope.
Uh-huh.
You can just follow your sign.
Yeah.
Hashtag Cancer, and then just learn about.
Are you a Cancer?
Yeah. I thought I was a Gemini forever, but I'm a Cancer.
I'm glad you sorted that out.
Yeah. What are you? Wait,
Capricorn.
You're a Capricorn. Yeah. That's the bad one, right?
Yeah, probably. Is there a bad one? It's probably Capricorn if there is.
Yeah, I think Capricorns are like stubborn and
Yeah. It's
yeah,
just assholes.
type A.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you get to hear about like girls' eating disorder journey, but now they're hot.
Right, which is a
So
valuable.
you get to learn about eating disorders, and you get to
service.
jack off.
Great.
Yeah. What else? Twitter is.
I think
Twitter's
Twitter's net neutral.
Net neutral?
Actually, it's probably net negative. Depends on how you use it.
There's just so many awful people on Twitter who have
Yeah.
like giant platforms. Though.
Yes, I will say that like the platforms on Twitter seem.
But are they are they real?
I don't know, but the platform on Twitter seems more usable.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like there are people who have like millions of followers there where I'm like, I feel like they're actually reaching millions of people. Whereas I think if you have millions of followers on Facebook,
That's
that I don't know what that means necessarily, but only because I use Twitter more than I use Facebook.
But there was another scandal where like they inflated the number of views that they had.
Yeah,
so
well, that's all for like
companies-
selling the video stuff and like
Uh-huh.
and like getting people to be producing video based on the idea that so many more people
So they
would
would
see it.
doctor the number of views.
Yeah,
So Facebook's net
negative.
Net negative. Twitter's net negative.
I think Twitter's net negative overall because like Jack is a piece of shit,
Mhm.
and it's like ban Nazis, just ban them. Like
Yeah.
when somebody when people use violent language and threaten people, like those people should get banned, even if
Yeah.
it's temporary. Like there has to be some kind of punishment for that because in real life, if somebody gave me a very legitimate death threat,
Mm-hmm.
and I took it to the police, and I was like, hey, this person left this like at my place or sent me it in the mail or whatever, and I'm scared, there would be actual consequences.
Yeah.
Maybe not like massive ones. That person's not going to go to jail, but like on Twitter, like when I got like doxxed and like people were like coming after me and putting my address on the internet and being super scary and being like, I want to rape and kill you like hundreds of times a day.
Mm-hmm.
The police were like, we can't do anything about this. This isn't anything. And
But
Twitter,
it is nice to get some attention. right?
honestly, some of them said, you hot cunt. And I think that was nice.
Really? Yeah.
No, they all said I was ugly.
Oh well.
Yeah.
They're wrong.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But like Twitter doesn't police that at all in the way that Facebook doesn't police themselves at all.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, like Twitter like does like what Facebook does really, like they kick off your fake dad account, which has like very little reach or harm. And let
Some people told me that made their day a little better.
no, I mean, but
People said it was
the
funny.
the harm factor was
Yeah.
very low, and then but they let like genocidal misinformation spread rampant, and Twitter does the same thing. Like they let like just objectively self-identifying Nazis
Yeah.
continue to use a platform, and then like when a woman makes a joke that's like, God, I wish I could kill all the men and then I could have some peace and like a clear joke, they ban them for like 4 days, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
You know, it's the same backwards policy.
But that's the crazy thing. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why they can't just tighten up a little. I mean, it must
Tighten up
it
across
must-
the board.
But it must affect their bottom lines. Like it must
does.
be more like better for them.
Though
to
I
have
still don't understand how Twitter
Nazis.
is monetized.
Yeah.
Like what
Yeah.
what generates income on Twitter? I mean, I know ads are a thing,
But I've never
But-
seen an ad on Twitter.
but like I mean, I see one maybe once a day. If I'm on it.
I rarely saw Facebook ads too. I guess they did it. They were kind of sneaky about it.
I think Twitter's probably sneaky about it too, but I think like the valuation is in personal data and what you engage with. But I don't understand how that's as valuable as they claim it is.
Yeah.
But I don't understand how any of this part of the economy works. Though I don't think anybody does.
Nobody does.
Nobody does. It's all
Well,
made
it was
up.
really funny when Zuckerberg testified before Congress, and then Steve King was like, "My granddaughter saw someone call me a piece of shit. What are you gonna do about that?"
It's so funny.
And then yeah, and then Ted Cruz was like, "I'm worried that you guys are silencing Diamond and Silk."
Diamond and Silk. What absolute maniacs to come out of only this like
Yeah,
era of technology.
yeah. Shout out to a couple real ones. Shout out to a couple beautiful queens who speak their mind.
regardless of if they have any idea what they're talking
Yes,
about or not.
we're huge fans. But yeah, no, you would think they could just scale back in those ways, and then also like just eliminate like Nazis and lying.
Yeah.
So when fucking Prager University puts out a video that's
Right.
like Palestinians are actually not human. There's
Right.
a gene. There's a gene, and there's like a little graphic.
Right,
Of like,
yeah.
their brain. You know, like you could just get rid of that.
Yeah.
Because it's a lie.
Right.
That-
I don't understand why they can't police that more. But again, I think it's bottom line related. They can.
Yeah. But then you can't. But I guess you can't you can't.
Where do you draw the line
regulate-
between lies and I thought that was true, or that was a joke, or there
But
is
that guy, Dan Crenshaw, the
Yeah.
congressman with the
Yeah.
iPad.
Yeah,
He lies all the time.
Yeah.
He's not even fucking like good at it.
no.
He's not
he's
even
an
like
idiot.
Well, but he's not even like Sean Hannity, where it's like he's
Right.
like a good actor,
Yes,
and he's
yeah.
like telling us like and Tucker Carlson too is kind of a good
Right.
actor.
They're
There's
terrible people with awful morals and principles, but they do know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like it's very like they are smart in that way. I have watched hours and hours of them for jobs. And
right.
They know what they're doing.
They
That's
tell you a story and it's and like
Yeah.
they're accessible and they talk to you like
yeah.
they talk on your level.
Right. Which
It's
is how they're
so-
able to like
Yeah.
reach the Fox News audience.
It's so funny. Deb's stepdad was like a union painter forever,
Uh-huh.
and we were talking to him on the phone with him. He's like, "I'm telling you, turn on Fox News and watch Tucker Carlson.
Oh my
he
God.
really knows what he's like." Tucker Carlson's like just the complete opposite
Of this, he's like such a like pseudo intellectual bow tie wearing piece of shit. And
Yeah.
it's like why are like union working class why are people listening to him? He's
know.
everything that they should hate, and he hates everything that they are.
Yeah. Deb's aunt shared a video from Lindsey Graham of Lindsey Graham like going off at the Kavanaugh hearings.
Was that a video Lindsey Graham posted, or was it somebody else posted it of him?
I think somebody else.
It was
posted
painting
She
him in
shared
like
it.
the correct it was like Lindsey's right.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm like, don't you? He's a queer. Why are you? You know? I don't know. Very weird, but what are
Very
you gonna
weird.
do? But it's yeah. I don't know. Well, a lot of bad people out there, but you know what? Bernie's gonna win if they don't kill him, and
It's scary times.
yeah. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
They say good always wins, but I don't think it does.
I have yet to see that be true in this lifetime.
Yeah. Well, last night was kind of big with those endorsements, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, as long as it's somebody progressive,
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe we are at the end, though. That'd be kind
Of the
cool.
world?
Yeah.
It'd be cool to be here for that, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But then, like, how is it cool? Like, who are you going to tell? Everything will be dead.
No, it'll be like it will like be on the brink of extinction.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like it will, like, turn a corner and we will kind of be like, it's almost over, fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe things will get real interesting and fun.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes I imagine like China takes over and they like obliterate New York and occupy it.
Yeah.
And then like the Chinese general who's like in charge of the occupation like has a daughter. He's got like a fat daughter and she like sees me walking my dog and she's like, "Daddy, I want that dog." And he like tries to buy the dog and I'm like,
Right.
it's not for sale.
Right, of course.
And then he's like, "Well, listen, like I'll give you like a job and I'll spare your family."
In
Like, I
Chinese
won't."
New York.
In Chinese New York, yeah. Yeah, you can like work at a bodega or something or like no, you can you can work at the fish market.
Yeah.
You know? Like you'll be taken care of, you just give me the dog.
Right.
And there's a scene where like I'm forced to like give up the dog and I'm like, "No!" But then he like goes back on his promise. So then I have to like
Kill him?
rescue I got to rescue my dog.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
I got to learn karate and rescue my dog.
Is karate
Why
a
No,
Chinese?
it's not Chinese, but why would it have to be a Chinese?
I don't know. Why karate? Just get a gun. It's America.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Even if it's Chinese America, this is still America. Guns are pretty much in charge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
That's one thing that's never going to change.
Right. Yeah, I think we could. Yeah, we'd be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for
Really
taking
landed
the
on all
time.
that.
What's that?
We really landed somewhere on all that.
Chinese is not karate, folks. You can take that to the bank. Yeah. Thanks for being here. Anything you want to plug?
Yeah, just follow me on Twitter as long as you're not gonna threaten to kill me.
Yes, please don't threaten to kill Allison.
It happens too much on a regular basis.
Does it? It's still happening?
Not in the way it used to, but like I would say like every couple weeks somebody pops up and is like, "Bitch, I'm gonna kill you," and you're like, "Okay, well, don't please," but you know.
But did you say something kind of snarky?
Yeah, probably, and I definitely deserve that.
Yeah.
Anyway, follow me on Twitter.
Yeah, follow Allison on Twitter and follow us, sitdownpod@gmail.com, sitdownpod on Instagram. Shoot us an email, sitdownpod. Oh, wait, I said that already. Support us on Patreon, patreon.com/sitdownpod. And what else? Email me, Instagram DM. I'll be in Buffalo and Rochester on November 7th and 8th. I think that's the weekend, Friday, Saturday. I'll have dates on my website soon, but I'm pretty sure there's tickets available. And then if you guys live in Minneapolis, this weekend I'll be at the 10,000 Laughs Festival. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'll be doing shows at the Comedy Corner Underground at Sisyphus Brewing, and it should be a good time. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, that's where I'll be. And then if you're in Brooklyn, I'm at the Knitting Factory Sunday night. A lot of fun show. It's free. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.